Hello and thanks for joining us on Nationwide today. I am Elizabeth Wamari. President Muhammad Buhari has tasked the State Chief of Protocol, Ambassador Lawal Kazari, to remain a good ambassador of the presidency by exhibiting high sense of responsibility in the discharge of his duties, as Dan Masalim Kazari. This was while officially receiving the new traditional title holder after his investiture ceremony in Kazari Emirate of Jigawa State. State House correspondent Adamu Sambo will bring us details of this report subsequently. Television is a philosophy with profound effects on the lives of everybody, which has become a global life-changing tool. In this report, Adebola Buxton Sunday takes a look at the importance and impact of this visual medium of communication on humanity.
Television has continued to play an important role in shaping public opinions and global decisions. The world's population is projected to reach 9.7 billion in 2050, and this is an indication that more households will acquire television sets. 26 years after the United Nations General Assembly designated November 21st every year as World Television Day, observers say there has been a significant improvement in the use of the tool globally.
We can all agree on the need to invest every bit of our energy in connecting the unconnected. It's no longer a want, it's a must.
Godfrey Onwabunwa, President Set-Top Box Manufacturers Association in Nigeria, told me that Nigeria has done tremendously well in television and its evolution.
Television in the time of independence, through which Nigerians were sensitized to the political, social, and economic change of the country. So since then, the television has grown in Nigeria. Starting from one, today we have more than 200 TV stations in Nigeria.
Another area Nigeria has done well, Godfrey Onwabunwa says, is the digital switch over.
By so doing, we are going to create an opportunity where more people can be involved in television business. So the quality of signals will be better, the fidelity of sound will be better, and it's going to create jobs.
For the Director General, Nigerian Television Authority, Salihu Abdulhamid Dembos, the advent of mobile phone cannot replace the traditional television, despite being like two sides of the same coin.
Even on the phone, you have so many options. We have our own app, NTA app, dedicated for NTA programs. In fact, in the next 1 week, we're also launching a new application for the NTA, which is better than the one existing. And you have a conglomeration of so many television stations that is being run by NTA, that is the multi-channels you can choose on your handset. And of course, we are going to have a dedicated channel too on the social media that will be on network alone.
NTA, the largest TV network in Africa, has also set up a special studio for the 2022 FIFA World Cup in Qatar. This, the Director General says, is aimed at leaving no one behind.
We are number one and we will remain to be number one. And what you have just seen is just a teaser, and much is going to come, especially with the 2023 election that is around the corner.
This year, the day focuses on how television draws viewers' attention to quality entertainment, societal issues, and newsworthy events. The globally celebrated tool, television, was invented in 1924 by a Scottish engineer, John Logibert. Adebola Brooksland, NTA News.
Thank you, Adebola, for that report. And it says TV isn't fun. While the importance of quality content, credible information, and autonomy of content creators all point at the relevance of television stations in a modern digital world, guests on NTA's flagship program Good Morning Nigeria echoed these as they explained the significance of the 2022 World Television Day. Joseph Watson reports.
The World Television Day was set aside by the United Nations in 1996 in recognition of the increasing impact television has on decision-making by bringing world attention to conflicts and threats to peace and security, and its important role in shaping the focus on other major issues. Guests on Good Morning Nigeria speak on the importance of improved funding for upgrading technology and building capacity of personnel to create contents that are appreciated by all sections of the public, especially the younger generation, who appear not to be fans of conventional television these days.
Is the credibility of the content that you produce. What is the quality? What is the level of believability? And how truthful or competently produced are these contents? And above all, of course, the safety and the autonomy required for you to do these productions.
People are occupying, right? And they will keep occupying.
Yes.
And that's why you have an endless number of channels, that people are filling the space with, right? And if you do not have a policy, a deliberate policy, well-calculated, enunciated policy that will create levels of engagement for you, then you become extremely vulnerable.
The guests lament the negative impact the social media is having on content viewership, insisting sometimes distort information. They however say a well-coordinated national policy on communication is needed to control the media space and project national values. In Abuja, Joseph Utsen, NTA News.
Away from the world of make-believe, Nigerian Export Week opens in Abuja with a commitment to sustain Nigeria's export culture towards stimulating the business community to prioritize the export of non-oil products. Minister of Industry, Trade and Investment, Adeni Adebayo, reiterates government's stance while endorsing the government's Export for Survival campaign. Comfort Amodu tells us more.
It's been a challenging time for Nigeria and supply chains around the world with loss of momentum, partly due to the Russia and Ukraine conflict and the economy shocks caused by COVID-19. For a way out, Nigeria is stepping up to stimulate the recovery of its economy, particularly through the non-oil sector. Critical to this agenda to signal the commitment of the government to reposition Nigeria's non-oil sector and trade expansion to the global market. Minister of Industry, Trade and Investment, Adeni Adebayo, has launched an Export for Survival campaign driven by the Nigerian Export Promotion Council. The success of this campaign requires the buy-in of all players in the non-oil export space, hence the urgency of the NEPC Export Week for Nigeria to imbibe the culture of export.
One of Nigeria's biggest developmental ambitions is the diversification of the country's economy and the positioning of Nigeria as a major international supply chain partner. Nigeria has an opportunity to fill a lot more of this global demand, and we cannot allow it to leave us. It's a patriotic call on all Nigerians to realize the urgency of engaging in non-oil export trade as a viable means of economic growth, industrial development, employment generation, and boosting our foreign exchange earnings.
To take advantage to ensure that more investments are challenged in the non-oil sector of the economy.
The Export for Survival campaign is targeted at increasing foreign exchange earnings and to boost the volume and value of exported Nigerian products and services. In Abuja, Comfort Amodu, NTA News.
In other news, the 2022 World Toilet Summit has ended in Abuja with government, development partners and private sector resolving on the need to intensify efforts to meet various targets in the sanitation and hygiene sector. In a communique by the Permanent Secretary, Federal Minister of Water Resources, Didi Wilson-Jack, the summit agreed that other tiers of government must replicate the political will already been demonstrated by the federal government, while also leveraging all available funding for the required economic revolution to fast-track the implementation of policies and programs in the sanitation and hygiene sector.
governments to facilitate and ensure a conducive investment environment. Private sector to innovate and invest smartly. Development banks and partners to make available risk-backed, innovative, context-appropriate financial mechanisms.
Everything we're doing at federal level is not going to lead to Nigeria being open defecation free without commensurate efforts from you at state level, because all the people at the state level, we are not here. So I want to ask all private sector organizations to please come on board. Let us support not only in Nigeria but other countries of the world in making sure that we use sanitation innovations for economic development of different countries.
Also resolved to speed up, scale up, and sustain progress recorded in the sanitation sector, particularly the Clean Nigeria campaign, which targets ending open defecation in the country by 2025. You're watching Nationwide on NTA. Let's join Michael in Lagos for more reports. Hello, Michael.
Address the complex and challenging dynamics of crime as well as mitigate concerns associated with current and emerging internal security realities, the need for community policing remains critical. Deputy Inspector General of Police Force Criminal Investigations Department Johnson Kokuma stated this at a workshop for stakeholders on community policing in Lagos. Abolade Salami reports.
Security operatives have continued to devise various means to tackle the menace of criminality and insurgency in the country. While the fight against insecurity intensifies, the Nigerian police force is strengthening the quest for a responsive community policing that will serve as watchdogs in neighborhoods across the country. Towards the realization of an agenda to stabilize internal security order, a workshop to expose trained civilians on efficient and effective community policing strategy that will serve as template for operations under stipulated regulations formed the crux of this course.
There should be synergy, there should be collaboration, there should be cooperation between the police and of course the members of the community. That of course meaning community participation in providing adequate security is the essence.
On preparedness of the Nigerian police to provide adequate security during and after the 2023 general elections, the Deputy Inspector General of Police in charge of crime and investigations said officers and men of the police will ensure law and order is maintained.
The Nigerian police has the capacity to provide adequate security for the electoral process. So our capacity to do it successfully again at the national level, of course, will not be in doubt.
The workshop had participants from southwest region of the country. In Lagos, Abolade Salami, NTA News.
Nigeria joins the rest of the world to celebrate UNICEF World Children's Day, with 150 children from various schools in Lagos hosted to a skill acquisition program and some football games by UNICEF representatives in Nigeria. Chief Judge tells us more.
The United Nations International Children's Emergency Fund, UNICEF, in Nigeria, the World Children's Day provides another huge opportunity to inspire Nigerian children to pursue their dreams and achieve full potentials. These year's celebrations with the theme, Inclusion for Every Child, advocates the right of every child to basic social amenities irrespective of their ages, sexes, and abilities.
Water, sanitation, and the right to play, sing, and to participate.
The issue of educating the child, the issue of child trafficking. There's so many things, a lot of work that UNICEF, especially with internally displaced persons in certain parts of the country.
Some of the children say more needs to be done to improve the standard of living for children in Nigeria.
Maybe a discounted price on hospitals for children that want to go to hospitals, and the educational sector to apply like maybe free notebooks, free pens, and writing materials. able to provide health centers for children.
Founded in 1946, the United Nations International Children Emergency Fund is an agency of the United Nations responsible for providing humanitarian and developmental aid. In Lagos, Gift George, NTA News.
Do not forget to follow this news broadcast live on our website at nta.ng/live and on our other social media handles displayed on your screen for updates. Time for some messages, and when
You're still on to Nationwide on the network service of the NTA. Welcome to Jos. The University of Jos has inaugurated additional physical structures to enhance learning of students in conducive atmosphere. Bilkisu Nuhu reports that the projects were executed under the 2022 TED Fund Special Intervention Projects.
This brief ceremony signals the official handover of the facilities to the Institute's administration. Vice-Chancellor, University of Jos, Professor Tanko Ishaya, who led management staff to inspect the facilities, say the structures have made standard and will address the deficits faced in terms of infrastructure.
We believe that the facility is going to be fully utilized for the best interest of our students, particularly the students hostel. And of course, the faculties that we have also handed over. The members of the faculty have been fantastically happy, and very eager and enthusiastic actually to move.
It's a very good job that has been done quality-wise, and most of our hostels, when they are constructed, are not fully furnished, but here is constructed and is fully furnished.
Deans of faculties of veterinary medicine and student affairs appreciated TED Fund and the university management for the projects, which they say will be beneficial to the students, and prayed for more of such interventions. The facilities inaugurated include deanery for the Faculty of Agriculture, 500 seating capacity auditorium, and a block of 4 classrooms for the Faculty of Veterinary Medicine, and 144 bed capacity male and female hostels with furnishing. In Jos, Bilkisu Nuhu, NTA News.
The increasing number of out-of-school children in the country has continued to attract concern. To this effect, Plateau State Executive Chairman, Universal Basic Education Board, Professor Matthew Sule, says Plateau State has stepped up efforts to address the issue. Elizabeth Ukari Andrew reports.
Statistics revealed by UNESCO has it that Nigeria currently has about 20 million out-of-school children, which indicates that Nigeria is among countries with the highest figure of out-of-school children globally. The situation is further compounded with the degenerating security challenges in the country. However, the Executive Chairman, State Universal Basic Education Board, Professor Matthew Sule, said the situation in Plateau State has improved.
Another census had been conducted, so we are awaiting that independent report that will be given to us. But I can tell you, without any fear of contradiction, that what is available now is we have worked it down.
According to him, the state government has introduced other modules such as sensitizing the community, introducing teachers in IDP camps, and the school feeding program, a strategy to encourage enrolling and retaining children in school.
And in Plateau State, an organization was given the mandate to do the mapping, and they mapped out Jos North and Gangare community, where predominantly we have a large number of children that are out of school.
He said, education at the basic level is free for all. Therefore, key players should ensure children are not deprived of this opportunity. In Jos, Elizabeth Kari Andrew, NTA News.
That's the update from Jos. Elizabeth is back to you in Abuja for more on Nationwide.
Thank you so much, Felicia. The Buhari Media Organization BMO has described the drastic reduction in the cost of berthing ships in Nigerian ports as another laudable feat of the President Muhammadu Buhari administration. The cost of berthing that was initially $150,000 dropped to $20,000. This feat has earned international ovations and also won the country the first ever outstanding achievement in collective action award of the Switzerland-based Basel Institute on Governance. While commending this site for international trade, the pro-Buhari group also said the development has attracted international reviews, and countries such as Egypt, Ukraine and India are now borrowing a leaf from the Nigerian model to produce similar gains in their ports operations. The federal government has awarded contract to the construction of about 48 kilometers township roads in Jega and Alero local government areas of Kebbi State. Ibrahim Dan Hamidu reports.
Is central in the promotion of economic well-being of communities, let alone those in highly agrarian state like Kebbi. Road projects, when completed, will facilitate the movement of people, farm produce, and other valuable items. Speaking during the commissioning of the projects in Jega and Aliru local governments, the Federal Controller of Works, a Kebbi Field Headquarters, James Bagudu, said the 32 billion naira contract is expected to be completed within 24 months for both local governments.
Section A and Section B makes a total length of 23.264 kilometers in Jiga local government. And that of Alero is 23.687 kilometer road for Alero now.
Meanwhile, the chairman, a Senate Committee on Works and a senator representing Kebbi Central, Muhammad Adamu Aliru, said the roads will go a long way in addressing the road deficit within the ancient towns of Jiga and Aliru. Representatives of the benefiting community speak on the development.
For a very long period of time, the people of Jega have been yearning for a project of this nature, that is the provision of township roads. As you are fully aware, Jega is basically a commercial center, and commercial activities cannot be positively enhanced without roads.
Senator Muhammad Adamu Aliru, who was a guest at the event, enjoined the benefiting communities to lend all their support for its completion within the stipulated period. Ibrahim Hamidu, NTA News.
Worried by the pathetic situation of flood victims and the limited resources of the state government to provide an all-inclusive succor, Jigawa state government has launched an appeal fund for those affected. At the event in Dutse, the State Committee on Flood Disaster Fundraising says over 1 billion naira has so far been realized. Mohammed Musa Askir reports.
Organized under the auspices of the Committee on Flood Disaster Assessment, Fundraising, Palliative Distribution and Establishments of State Flood Trust Fund, the appeal fund is intended to net in substantial amount of money that can cater for the needs of the hundreds of thousands of victims rendered homeless and without means of livelihoods by this year's flood disaster. The event attracted sympathizing companies, associations, business groups, individuals and government who contributed generously for the welfare of the citizens living in destitutions across the state.
It's imperative to support these victims. It is their right on us. Even if we cannot solve their entire problem, at least we can alleviate it by so doing.
In their separate remarks, Governor Muhammadu Badru Abubakar, his deputy Umar Namadi and chairman of the committee, Bashir Muhammad Al-Hatu, have called for more donations to enable the state arrest the emerging humanitarian crisis from the impacts of the disaster.
It is an occasion born out of a dire humanitarian situation, an emergency condition of incredible proportion that calls for the adoption of a short doctrine of necessity to address the situation.
From what I read and what we have collected, this committee as of this morning has well over 100 million.
From the various donations made, over 1 billion naira in cash and pledges were recorded at the event, even as the doors remain open for the continuous donation to the coffers of the appeal fund. From Dutse, Muhammad Askira, NTA News.
To electoral matters, the International Human Rights Movement, a foreign accredited observer for the 2023 general elections by the Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC), has reaffirmed its commitment to abide by the laid-down rules and regulations guiding electoral process. In a statement by its country chairman, Ambassador Salisu Musa, the foreign observer says, as a certified body by the regional organizations and INEC, it will ensure it upholds the sanctity of truth, objectivity and neutrality before, during and after the elections. The International Human Rights Movement also urged all foreign election observers for the elections to comply with COVID-19 protocols. The governor of Rivers State, Nyesom Wike, says the 16 key projects it has completed will put the state on the road to rapid industrialization and prosperity. This was at the inauguration of the Mbutawo Internal Network Roads located in Emoha local government area of the state. Governor Wike also spoke on recent political events. This report will come. You're still watching Nationwide. The federal government's commitment towards addressing housing deficit in the country through the provision of affordable houses for its teeming citizens is gradually coming to fruition in Niger State. This is evident when officials of the federal government-owned Family Homes Fund Limited were in Mina to inspect the 300 housing units adjudged to be in its completion stage. Salamatu Umar reports.
The mandate is to have infrastructural development of 500,000 unit homes across Nigeria. The 300 Niger State Estate Housing Unit is one of the initiatives the Family Homes is facilitating, which prompted officials of the agency as part of its mandate to embark on inspection visit to the project site to assess level of compliance and completion of the project, where about 2 billion naira has been expended. The development is in collaboration with Niger State Housing Corporation.
It's our responsibility to make sure whatever submission you make, we jointly agree we are financing you to provide decent and affordable accommodation to Nigerians. We are satisfied with the progress and the quality of the job being done.
Owning a house is not something that you just wake up one day and you own it. All over the world is being planned over the years. Therefore, we are giving everybody that is owning a house here a period of 20 years to pay back.
The project is expected to be completed by the end of this year. In Mina, Salamatu Umar, NTA News.
And it's time to head to the city of Ibadan for more reports where Kemi is standing by. Nice to see you, Kemi.
Welcome to Ibadan. Regulations of stories on social media platforms is key in putting an end to unsolicited information and coverages as Nigeria joins the rest of the world to celebrate 2022 Television Day. Omokaide Igbari reports that veterans shed more light on the theme for the day.
Television is not just a tool, but a philosophy of education that has a profound effect on lives through the dissemination of information while educating and entertaining its viewers.
These days, we transmit in black and white, but now it's now colored, and we are seeing the growth of television.
Most aspects, because before a program will be transmitted on television, first it will be edited, it will be scrutinized, not that the way it is being recorded is the way it will be presented to the general public.
The United Nations General Assembly declared every 21st November each year as World Television Day because of its impact on the society. Stakeholders in the television industry are of the opinion that better regulation of what goes on air by government at all levels is pivotal as the 2023 general elections draw near.
It is the job of the TV because we are the professional ones who are the operators. We have to be the ones to clear the air, to say, no, this is how it happened, this is the truth, that's not the truth, and all of that. So this is one of the problems that we have to face with these days.
Yeah, 2022 World Television Day is set aside to celebrate the creation of television and its importance in modern life with the theme, history, significance, quotes, and posters.
The Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, has begun the display of preliminary voters register across the 193 wards in Kwara State for claims and objections. Aisha Wakariaya visited some wards in Ilorin Metropolis and brings back this report.
According to the Independent National Electoral Commission, Kwara State, the display of preliminary voters register across the 193 wards in Kwara State, which is in line with the Electoral Act, is part of efforts to further clean up documents ahead of 2023 general elections. With the display of voters register, individuals will be able to detect foreigners as well as dead individuals whose names appear, but with clear evidence to help the Commission.
That either your name is omitted in the list you have registered and your name is omitted, or your name is written and is not correctly written, or any other.
Apologize for that glitch. Nigeria is working towards ensuring its senior citizens enjoy a decent life after giving so much of their energy to their fatherland in both formal and non-formal sectors of the economy. Director General of the National Senior Citizens Center, Omokaro, gave the indication during a visit to Dawakin Kudu Dye Pit, where this group of Nigerians, despite their frailty, are still making a living and sustaining the craft for the next generation. Aminu Umar reports.
Data shows that Nigeria has about 10 million population of older persons aged 60 and above. During their energetic age, the senior citizens have contributed to the growth of the nation, formally and non-formally. However, among their key challenges is lack of income security. Here in Dawakin Kudu, a local government in Kano State, are some of these older persons. Although aging, they are still productive, maintaining the age-long craft of tie and dye. On hand to say for herself is the Director General, National Senior Citizen Center, Omokaro, whose mandate is to ensure income security for older persons by creating more productive activities. She said in line with this mandate, the center has mapped out all indigenous crafts and livelihood ventures engaged by older persons across the 6 local governments each from the 18 identified states across the country.
The oldest was about 87 years, so they are old. And we have those youths, and I just wonder, will the youth now continue in this line and then grow old with this? It shouldn't happen. So we are approaching it intergenerationally, focusing on older people, but respecting and honoring that transfer, but now engaging the youth with them so that they can rest. If they want to do it, yes, they can do it.
The engagement with this group of elder persons came at a sideline of the 3-day retreat for governing board of the center on ways of attracting funding, among others. In Kano, Amin Umar, NTA News.
And Nana has some reports for us from Sokoto. Hello, Nana.
Good evening, everyone. You are still watching Nationwide. Welcome to Sokoto. The Campaign Council of the People's Democratic Party in Sokoto State has held its inaugural meeting with commitment to win all electoral positions in the state. Sheikh Muhammad Detti has the report.
The Campaign Council is holding its first meeting after being formed by the party in October 2022, with the members comprising stalwarts from across the state. Chairman of the council, former Governor Atad Alhatu Baparawa, said victory for the PDP in Sokoto State is certain considering the combination of the council's membership. He, however, stated that should not be seen as reason for reluctance, challenging all to rise and be on their toes to make the victory a reality. According to him, people of Sokoto should see continuity in governance as a basis for sustainable development, noting that he was not angered by his detention after leaving office as governor, but by the abandonment of the uncompleted project his administration initiated for the people of the state. He emphasized that projects are initiated by government with public resources, and abandoning such projects by successful governments amounts to wastage of public funds. Director General Campaign Management Committee, former Minister Yusuf Suleiman, expressed belief that the Campaign Council and the Campaign Management Committee will work together to ensure the success of the PDP at all levels of election. Sokoto State Governor Amin Waziri Tambuwal asked the two bodies and the entire membership of the party to intensify campaign at the polling units levels to make the party victorious. Other speakers, including the PDP youths and women wing leaders, pledged more commitment to guarantee the party's victory at the polls. In Sokoto, Shehu Muhammad Datti, NTA News.
The National Population Commission is strengthening collaboration with relevant stakeholders to ensure effective sensitization of Nigerians on the forthcoming 2023 population and housing census in the country. The NPC Federal Commissioner representing Zamfara State, Mohammed Muttakarini, restated this at a roadshow organized by the Commission in Gusau. Jamil Ibrahim has more.
As the 2023 National Population and Housing Census is fast approaching, the National Population Commission has continued to devise new channels of sensitizing the general public on what is expected of them towards the successful conduct of the all-important exercise. It is in furtherance of this commitment that Zamfara State Office of the NPC organized a roadshow aimed at extending its public enlightenment drive to every nook and cranny of the state. The roadshow work, which is in partnership with the State Office of the National Orientation Agency, NTA, took off from the State NPC headquarters, Gusau, and went through some major streets of the metropolis to the MS Palace and terminated at Gusau Central Motor Park. At the participants educate members of the public on the significance of the census and what is expected of the residents for the successful conduct of the exercise. The NPC Federal Commissioner representing Zamfara State, Mohammed Muttakarini, said the event, which is an advocacy and publicity, is part of the Commission's commitment to carry the message of the 2023 National Census to all Nigerians in all parts of the country.
This census is a very important in the sense that it is one of the data that is being used in distribution of resources in Nigerian society. So the more you are, the much more you get.
On his part, Zamfara State Director of the National Orientation Agency said the agency will continue to collaborate with the NPC to ensure effective public sensitization on the 2023 census. In Gusau, Jamil Ibrahim, NTA News.
That's our news package from Sokoto. Nationwide continues with Elizabeth in Abuja.
Thank you, Nana. Well, as earlier teased that President Muhammad Buhari received his State Chief of Protocol, Ambassador Lawal Kazari, after his conferment, State House correspondent Adamo Sambo now has details of that report.
An accomplished diplomat, Ambassador Lawal Kazari has been the State Chief of Protocol to President Muhammadu Buhari since May 2015. He was recently enlisted into the prestigious Kazari Emirate Council following his appointment by the paramount ruler of Kazari, Najib Hussaini Adamu, as Damasanin Kazari. President Muhammadu Buhari was represented at the ceremony by his Chief of Staff, Professor Ibrahim Gambari. Here, Professor Gambari is leading all the presidential aides and the entire members of the 001 team to formally present the new Damasanin Kazari to the Nigerian leader. President Buhari, who once again appreciated the Emir of Kazari for finding Ambassador Lawal Kazari worthy of the appointment, expressed the belief that the new traditional title holder will not only be an asset but indeed a dependable ally in the progress and development of Kazari Emirate, as explained by his Chief of Staff, Professor Ibrahim Gambari.
He was extremely delighted and even had a written statement because Ambassador Kazari is a career diplomat, very experienced, very thorough, very committed, and is known that he appreciates those who serve him faithfully, loyally, committedly, and with experience and expertise. We also see that this is a recognition by the outside and the communities of the kind of the quality of people that are serving Mr. President, so that he can fulfill his mandates and priorities, particularly as we are coming towards the end of the administration's tenure.
The highly elated Damasanin Kazaure, Ambassador Lawal Kazaure, was full of appreciation to the president for entrusting him with a coveted job that not only brought him to limelight and honor, but enabled him contribute his quota to the advancement of his people.
For one to be given the title of Damasani speaks volume, and then the only thing I can say is to thank him and thank the people of the Emirate for the support and goodwill as well as prayers that have been offering us since the beginning of this exercise.
So what should they be expecting from you as Damasani Kazaure?
The expectations are very high, and as a human being, we can only do the little we can through the help and guidance of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The only thing we can do, we are just used as a means to an end. So keep on praying to Almighty Allah to give us the opportunity and also the will and the health to keep on serving the people wherever we find ourselves.
It will be recalled that on the same day of his coronation as Damasanin Kazaure, the state chief of protocol, Ambassador Lawal Kazaure, also gave her his daughter in marriage. From the State House, Adamu Sambu, NTA News.
One sure way of preventing corruption in society is by building institutional capacity and reinvigorating positive values amongst students. This was the submission of the Chairman, Independent Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offences Commission, ICPC, Professor Bolaji Owasonye, at the inauguration of anti-corruption clubs in secondary schools in Ondo State. Doris Olumoko reports.
Inaugurating the anti-corruption clubs in 160 secondary schools across Ondo State, the ICPC chairman noted that the program is aimed at inculcating values in the students from the formative age to enable them assume positions of authority in the future and imbibe zero tolerance for corruption and other social vices. The initiative will also expose the students to existing integrity pattern of the ICPC.
We can see one or two of these children who eventually will end up as leaders tomorrow, and just one of them will effect an immense change that we do not think about.
Join at further groups, and we can educate our fellow students on how to fight corruption.
The Independent Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offences Commission, ICPC, is a Nigerian agency with a mandate to receive and investigate reports of corruption and, in appropriate cases, prosecute the offender, examine, review and enforce the correction of corruption-prone systems and procedures of public bodies with a view to eliminating corruption in public life, and to educate the public on and against corruption and related offences with a view to fostering public support for the fight against corruption. In Akure, Doris Olumoko, NTA News.
And the development of leadership is considered a vital aspect of the Nigerian Army's operations as it prepares troops to perform optimally in their various theatres of operations. The belief brought about a leadership training course instituted for junior cadre officers in the force. The course, an initiative of the Nigerian Army Resource Center, seeks to improve creativity and critical thinking skills for optimum performance and develop emotional intelligence of participants.
The belief is that globally, counter-terrorism and counter-insurgency is junior leader and global led. And that's the sense why we are no more passive from junior officers and whatever, because you can expect, for instance, in Nigeria to lead patrol, to lead ambush, to lead raids, and things like that. So when they understand what it is, about their responsibilities. It goes a long way when they become better in performing whatever assignment given to them.
39 soldiers and 14 officers attended. The Cardinal Bishop of Ekwulobi Catholic Diocese, His Eminence Peter Cardinal Iberi Opalike, has challenged those in leadership positions to always seek spiritual as inspirations in order to take decisions for the interest of the country. This was at the 14th National Conference and Golden Jubilee of the Catholic Charismatic Renewal of Nigeria held in Ubuluku, Delta State.
The 14th National Conference and Golden Jubilee of Catholic Charismatic Renewal of Nigeria had thousands of members and guests from within and outside the shores of the country in attendance. They praised God for His mercies thus far and prayed for the success of the 2023 general elections, which they described as pivotal to the growth of the country. Cardinal Peter Iberi Opalike and Bishop Iseluku Diocese Dr. Michael Elue officiated the opening and the 3 Eucharistic celebrations with a call to be Holy Spirit filled.
This is time to show who you are, what you believe in, your convictions, your faith, and your ultimate destination.
Well, I advise the leaders, as I advise any other person, to please let the Holy Spirit influence their actions for the good of the common people.
The national chairman of the Catholic Charismatic Renewal of Nigeria, Uche Manu, recounted some of the achievements of the executives.
Can you imagine that shall be preached in our country, Nigeria?
The Charismatic Renewal is a wind of God that has been raised for this generation to enliven the church, to put new life into the church.
It is like a renaissance, a beginning again, a year of liberation, a year of happiness.
From Ubuluku, Calvin Umechi, NTA News.